Welcome to the October 9th, 2016 Guitar Blog episode on ballad guitar soloing. Now, guitar ballads are not just a popular soloing situation that we'll come across, for improvising, but, they can be really a great way to practice your soloing on overall. Plus, they're a lot of fun. Nice, good set of chord changes for a nice guitar ballad. It's going to be a great situation to practice jamming on. In fact, I can remember when I was working in one of my old bar bands that we had a cover we did of Prince's Purple Rain, and playing that solo live was one of the most fun times of the entire night that I'd have on the gig. So guitar ballads are a heck of a lot of fun to work on. They're great for your ear, for hearing how changes operate and so on, and they're just excellent for your practice of scales and arpeggios, stuff like that. So in this guitar blog, what we're going to do is take a look at what goes on when soloing over a guitar ballad, what types of chord changes that we'll find, what seems to be the best scale options that we can have for our approach to going over the ballad with our lead lines, with our improvisations, and how to approach the phrasing so that it's much better and a little bit more flowing than it would be otherwise. So what I'm going to get you to do is grab your guitar, we're going to zoom in on the neck, and we're going to get started with the lesson on guitar ballad soloing. All right, in example one, we're going to take a look at a very common harmony. You've probably heard this a million times before. It's a minor key dropping down harmony going from the root to a 7 to a 6, and then you can have any kind of turnaround you'd like. I'm going to be using a 4, 5, 1 to take it back to the top on the E minor chord, and this is going to be an E minor if you haven't figured it out so far. I think I should mention though that guitar ballads, they can come in all kinds of formats, all kinds of tonalities, but one consistent thing that occurs time and time again with guitar ballads in minor keys especially is this dropping down harmony from the tonic chord. There's a few others, but this one is very popular. And what's happening is we're in the key of E minor, and we're taking it down from the E to the D, and then from the D to the C. And those chords are moving E minor to D major and then C major. And then in this case, to turn it around, I'm using the 4 chord of A minor and the 5 chord of B minor. It's all diatonic to the E natural minor harmony. And these are the chord changes that we're going to be using for our first progression here. Now the entire progression is set within the key of E natural minor, so it makes it really easy to solo on. You're just going to be using E natural minor scale, E minor pentatonic. If you wanted to slip a little bit of blues scale in there, you could do that too. E minor arpeggios, anything from the key center is great, but you could just focus if you wanted to on the E minor triad, or you could do the 7th. Either one, you can do that anywhere really you like. The harmony is very diatonic, so it works fantastic anywhere you place it. And basically with the phrasing, you want to do all your standard ideas, get some bends in there. Have nice bending ideas going on. Maybe some sequencing concepts are always nice. Those are really nice to add in, some kind of sequenced format. That was just one type, and you can go ascending in fourths maybe, something like that. But just be, in some kind of aspect with the tones and some kind of sequence. You can even do some kind of statement, using tones in different registers, and you could just come up with a statement. Change register with a line. I just came up with a simple short line there. We're using the E and the F sharp and the G, slipping in a fast D note in there. You can just move it to different registers. It's kind of a fun thing to mess around with, Test a few different areas of the neck, find your favorite spots. Don't forget to do things too, like, harmonics. You can do, it depends on what pickup selector you have on. But harmonics are a nice idea. You could do them with your pinch harmonics as well. It's kind of fun. It's a different sound. You can do some different intervals too. You could do some double stop intervals. You could do some sixth. Sounds really nice. Octaves, So you can test out lots of these different ideas, you know, and even with intervals too, you could do some Hendrixy style concepts, you know. Sort of country-ish sounds too, you know, if you wanted to. Repetitive lines. Some kind of concept just repeats, you know, come into a phrase maybe and just play it a whole whack of times. You know, just a selection of notes. Change the rhythm on them, change the order and sequence a little bit, but, you know, have a group of notes that you just play over and over again. Sounds kind of interesting when you do phrases that way. So lots that you can do, and I think what I'm going to do now is just fire up the jam track that I have of the chord changes. It's just going to go E minor down into that 7 chord, a D major, and then drop down again, C major. And then we'll have our A minor into our B minor. So I'll fire up the jam track on the loop pedal, and I'll just fool around a little bit, take the first part of the lesson out here. The Blues Guitar Styles ebook is a masterclass course covering a huge amount of information on the blues style, with 8, 12, and 16 bar blues progressions, classic blues styles, plus all the important chord patterns. There's over 50 pages of information, including sections on blues techniques like slide, alternate tuning, and bending. This ebook has everything the guitar player needs for a solid foundation in blues guitar, including 27 MP3 audio tracks for easy at-home study. Blues Guitar Styles is available for instant download in the View Our Products area at creativeguitarstudio.com. In our second example, we're going to look at the guitar styles of Jeff Beck a little bit here with his piece, or the harmony, closely related harmony of his piece, because we ended as lovers. And, you know, this kind of guitar ballad setup functions in a minor key theme again here, and I've looked at it in a little bit different way, because what's happening in Jeff Beck's classic harmony is that we have an immediate movement into the 6th chord of the minor key, and it's a really nice sound. Now, I'm going to be playing this format of this jam for us in D minor. I believe the original tune is C minor, but we're going to be doing it in D minor. And the 6th chord is a B flat. And that's a great change. It's really nice in ballads, minor key ballads. And then we're going to move over to the 4 chord. And then on the end of it, we're going to do a really interesting turnaround. Now what happens on the turnaround is we're taking the root chord, which is of course the D, and it's not going to be minor though. We're going to convert the quality into being major. We'll have a suspended idea and then major will roll in. So very different concept, and you know, it's a really nice sound when you start applying these ideas off of the tonic degree where the quality shifts of the chord. It just has this interesting way that it promotes the turnaround back to the top that you can't quite get in any other manner. So we have to have, as we're going through the tune, it's basically just D minor in our layout here. So we're having D minor for the most part, you know, whether it's natural minor scale or you're going to use some minor pentatonic, maybe a little bit of blues. It's going to sound really nice. Some bluesy sounds would be great on this. But you know, when you get to that ending where it's like, you know, the suspended and the D major, you're going to have to kind of, you know, come up with some interesting sounds there to cover that. You could use major pentatonic. I actually really like the sounds of Mixolydian mode. Mixolydian is really nice, D-Mixolydian, to be able to cover that. Now, you don't have a lot of time. It's only one measure. And one of the things you want to kind of highlight, too, and I'm going to try this on my soloing when I, you know, do that, is covering that sound of that suspension. It's a really nice sound, you know, and we want to try and highlight it because it's kind of a real impactful sound in the progression. So if we can highlight it, man, it's going to sound really nice. So these are the kind of things we're shooting for, along with everything I'd talked about in example 1, you know, all the different kinds of, you know, octaves. You know, those are nice, and, you know, intervals. You know, anything that you want there for double stops. So you come up with some nice sounds like that, and everything, you know, else we were discussing, sequencing. With some nice sequencing ideas, repetitive lines, all that stuff we talked through in example 1. Just apply it again, you know, in this situation. Now, this is slower. Our first example, we were jamming out at 88 beats per minute. This one's dropping all the way down to 58 beats per minute. It's going to feel real slow, but that's, again, a big part of these guitar ballads, and we have some pretty slow tempos in these things. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to fire up the loop pedal. It's got all these changes in it, and you're going to get a chance to hear them go by, and I'm going to play some lead over top of that. Okay, so here we go. Well, thanks for watching part 1 of the lesson. Be sure to sign up for a membership at creativeguitarstudio.com to watch part 2. In the second half of this video, I'm going to be looking at guitar ballad progressions that have been made popular in songs by Eric Clapton and David Gilmour. Plus, as a member, you're going to be able to download the handout for this lesson plan. So I'll hope to catch up with you next in the members area at creativeguitarstudio.com. Smooth Jazz Chords introduces chord types that offer a very different sound from the chords that are used in almost every other style of music. The Smooth Jazz Chords video lesson is a two-part course that demonstrates chord types that are used in the smooth jazz style. These chords are often referred to as triad over bass note chords, and the lesson demonstrates these chord shapes as well as their use using both diagrams and example progressions. Smooth Jazz Chords is available for instant download in the View Our Products area at creativeguitarstudio.com. Thanks for watching. Click here to subscribe to the Guitar Blog Update YouTube channel and never miss another video. Click here to sign up for your free membership to creativeguitarstudio.com. And if you take out a paid membership, you'll get premium content downloads of jam tracks, lesson handouts, and full access to all the members area video lessons.